Hello, everybody in Miss Paints-A-Lot land. I'm bringing you the antique phone journal I completed from Kyung's beautiful kit. Oh my gosh, I love that kit. I'm going to be making more with that kit in mind. I wanted to do one and test out all my theories and that kind of stuff. So I thought it would be cute to make it look like a phone book. So I took one of the pieces of ephemera in the kit and I enlarged it. And I enlarged it to a point, and then I kind of like cut pieces out, and I kind of pieced it with the little blue line. I added these two like little stickers here, and then the back is just plain. And then I did sort of a decorative sticker edge here to make it look like the spine of a book. I was trying to do Mrs. P's button and string closure. I wasn't quite sure how that was accomplished, so I did two buttons. It's one button that's clear or milky, and then the bottom one is sort of the teal color that's in the book itself. And then I just kind of go in between like a policy closure. I wasn't quite sure if that's how it was done, but it really holds it nicely. So I hadn't planned on a closure for this, so this is what I ended up with. It gapes just a little bit. Just a little. Okay, so here we go. On the inside cover, I did, this is the piece that I used for the front. It was just a piece of ephemera. I'm going to use it for like a journal card here. Here's my London Bobby. And, and he is standing by the telephone waiting for his sergeant to call. I did a little banner like he's beside a shop kind of a thing, and I try to give him a base. Here's one of the beautiful images. I love the dial. Oh, and the blue teal that's in here. And the phone. Everybody is crazy about the phone. Now I took pieces of dictionary page and I put I put them throughout here. So I thought that was kind of fun. This is just a bag, and I love this background. And then I just made a journal card, just a plain one. Here's a pretty dial here. I had some paper from another pad, and it worked in nicely here. And this is the only page I did a sew, because on the back here was white. And I kind of did a newspaper. I thought, well, that kind of goes along with phones and calling. Now here, here I did like a tiny tuck. I got these galvanized numbers and thought they would work because everything has to do with numbers with this. This is a piece that my mom has. It's the old conductor or whatever that goes on the old telephone poles. The wire would wind around this part, and then you can kind of see the screw mechanism inside, and that kind of secured it to the pole itself, or the bar on the pole. So I thought that would make a nice journal card. Here was my page, and it kind of shows where the conductors are on the poles. I thought that was fun. This is tuck. Underneath, I have phone book, an old phone book that I used. So this was tea bag, and this was like a embossing folder that was like a wood. This has telegram, because I figured telegrams went through here too. This is one of my, I call it an envelope slide, but it slides up and down your page. You can use it as a belly band if you wanted. I intended it to be on the spine part, and you tuck things under it. I thought these guys looked like they could be the committee, or it has society on here somewhere. So they're the society that gets the money backing for all the telephone poles to be put up. I did a little texture paint down here, and I added a little bit of gold distress paint to give it a color. I've also got some of this all throughout. It's like a chicken wire die cut, and I wanted to have different textures. This guy, I figured he dealt in antique phones, and where he ended up being on this opposite page with the pretty designs here by Kyung, it worked out real nice. This is one of my two, I don't know if you call them flippy floppies, but there's things tucked in behind. That's like a little simple journal card. And then I have just a tag behind this little piece of wood grain. And then it's got some of the vellum, the, I don't know if you call it distress vellum, but Tim Holtz vellum, whatever. Anyhow, I have a lot of the rub ones on here. Here was another tuck. Here was one of my pages that I dyed last summer, and it goes so good with this. I have a couple of those in here. This is from the telephone book, the area codes and time zones. I said, oh, perfect. Here is the back side of my middle spread. I have two signatures in here, and they just have a simple index card in them, and I left it punched on both sides, so you didn't need to deal with a pull that might get in the way of a closure or tie you'd have. I was inspired by Mrs. P's video on her item she did the other day, and I used that globe I found, and I had two little hands, and they were perfect. The other part of the area code. Here is another, oh, that's the other side of the flippy floppy. This was the bottom part of my telephone directory. No, it's the top part of my telephone directory. And I wasn't quite sure what to do with it. And I was trying to fit it in. It was too long for the page. So I did a diagonal, and it's like a belly band. And I have 911 because it's police and fire calls. And that was a rub-on, I believe, as well. This here had talked about party lines. I was on a party line when I was younger. I don't know if we were number 4. I think that's what our number was. So that's why I chose that. But I found some information online about party lines and put that on here on a piece of my dyed paper. And then that just tucks in behind here. This is part of her kit, a piece of the ephemera from the kit. This I just cut out from newspaper. That worked good. I just inked around it a little bit. That's a pretty image there. And I had these wooden letters, so I just put phone here, and then I've got my little dictionary meaning of slang for telephone, to call or communicate by telephone. And I did a little bit of a strip behind it, so it had a base. And she had some diagrams on her pages and maps. I did a heat embossing here with a hello stamp. It's one of her writing pages. I try to leave a little bit of room. I think this is one of her other writing pages too. That was a blank one. Then some have images. That's the other side of my page I sewed. I didn't realize I put these back to back, but that's okay because I love this image. This is the other side of the paper bag with its little card inside. And then I used rotary on here since that was a rotary phone dial. I wish she would have put this on the ephemera. This is a guy climbing a telephone pole. He would have been perfect for that other one back there. Oh, here's the beautiful image that I'll use on my paper bag front. Here starts the second signature. And I have the yellow page here. Here's another of my flippy floppies. This one, I was trying to do like a collage kind of a thing. This is just a tag. I couldn't figure out what else to put in there. This is a tile with a clock on it. It goes in there under the stamp. Then this here has a little pull on it. And it's my, ooh, it's sliding down there. My policy closure. Well, there we go. And it lifts up. And that's that little couple that's on the very first of my second signature page. And then Judy gave me this little envelope. And I went and I embossed it with a brick embossing folder. I put part of that front page thing on here from the telephone directory, and I've got pieces here that was from a part of my art book. It had such a neat design. I dyed it up and used it. And then I have my little telephone and a brad there. I used a little bit of washi tape in certain places to give it some design. And here's a pretty image of an operator. She has a tag here that's got one of the images from the kit. Then this is like a little file folder, I guess you'd call it, with one of the other images from the kit. And it had a date of like 1910 and such, so I thought that's kind of looks like the time period this lady's in. That was another one of my dyed pages. And here we go. I put dial here for this dictionary page. And that was one of her backgrounds with two people with listening devices. That's really early on. Oh, and I love this. This is like a little fold up that you can journal in, and then it folds back down. I used his arm for the handle. I thought that was kind of cute. There's another one of her writing pages from the kit. Now this is one of my pages I did heat embossing on with a ring, because over here we have Lily Tomlin as Ernestine the operator, and it's like she would go one ringy dingy, snort snort, two ringy dingy, snort snort, and I thought that's her rings. And then somebody had this, they sent around on the internet, and I thought, oh, that'll work as a journal card there. And then, of course, her dictionary. I'll leave it where the phone shows. The dictionary meaning here is ring. And I did a stencil with numbers. The kind of, I did a directory actually from Ancestry. And it kind of bled through a little bit, so I wanted to make sure I kind of covered that up. This is another piece of the vellum, and it had numbers on it, so I thought it would go. All right, here's my middle spread of my second signature. Here's ET Phone Home, and then on the inside is a big old dial. I don't know if anybody knows what BR549 is, but probably anybody in the U.S. does. And then the backside didn't have anything. It was just the moon. And that kind of, it's on some cardstock, so it's doubled. So it doesn't want to stay shut. So that's probably what helps keep this book open. There's more stenciling. This was just actual stencils I had, and I stenciled through them to get my numbers variously there. Since that mentioned telegram or telegraph, I put telegraph down there. This was the other side of my rings, and I had this like celebrations kind of die cuts, and there was two of them, and I thought they looked like a phone cord. So I created a phone cord. And let's see. Oh, this is more of my, it was that texture paste, and I had more of it, so I did this piece of paper, and I used it up there, and then I sprayed it. But this is like if somebody wants to dial, hold on tight to your dreams. I figured they would be holding on tight. And then that tucks right back in there. It's got farewell. And there's that pretty phone again. And this is, it's usually called a 5 pocket, but it's only 4, because I glued the back down, because this is made out of foam page. And it's kind of on the delicate side. That's why I used washi tape on my edges here. Another one of my galvanized numbers. And there was those people. They're on the front of this signature too, but you couldn't see him, so I had it again. And there's a bunch of operators at work. Here's the other end of my flippy floppy, and this is held in with a paper clip, And the way it works is you flip that up and you're able to write or whatever there, journal. And then you've got a journal card in here with this little man on it. And he looks like he could be working for the phone company or something. And I thought this was really neat. The public telephone room. I don't know where she found some of these images, but they are gorgeous. I wouldn't even have thought they'd have a public telephone room. Over here is a bunch of the operators at work, and that I have an operator description there from the dictionary. And this is just a little simple card, but I had the same kind of image right behind it. The other end of my yellow pages, another page. I don't know what this is. It looks like hieroglyphics to me, but it must be something with the phone company that she found that she put here. It's kind of interesting. And then this is the last page. I didn't do any pocket back here, but it could be written on if somebody wanted to, or they can just tuck something there. It would stay in there with the button closure here. Well, thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed that. Got a few ideas. I'm always glad to give ideas. Hope you all have a great day.